Well, I see it is right on time, and good afternoon, members of the board and members of the staff and members of the public. We are here for the special session of the Coconino County Board of Supervisors. My name is Patrice Horstman, and I am the supervisor for District 1, and I'm also chair of the board. And as you are aware, what the board has been doing is we have been doing listening tours and giving you, members of the public, our residents and our stakeholders, an opportunity to be heard on our Board of Supervisors redistricting scenarios. With me are other members of the board, and I'm going to have them to briefly introduce themselves, and then we will start our listening session here this afternoon. So if I can start with Vice Chair Geronimo Vasquez.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here and attending. And I highly encourage everybody to take the opportunity to say their piece. And if you don't get the opportunity to email it in, there still is time. And this is what makes democracy great, is participant democracy, citizenship. So thank you for being here, and please engage. Thank you.
Thank you. And District 3.
Yes, that Republican form of democracy and input's critical. So Matt Ryan, County Supervisor representing NAU, Southwestern Flagstaff, the I-17 corridor, Kachina, Mountain Air, Munns Park, Parks, Williams, Belmont, and Greater Williams area. Happy to be here, and I agree. It's a great opportunity for people to comment. The board will be listening, and it'll help us make our decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Ryan. And we have a District 4.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm glad to be here to be part of this challenge and work that we're doing for the redistricting. And I just want to welcome everyone that's on the call, and also my colleagues and the staff that are here, we're here to listen and get input so that we can make a decision that's best interest of the communities that we serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Begay. And Supervisor 5.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for joining us virtually. The board this year is doing all its education, trying to reach out to our communities by virtual. And that's all we've done, unless it's individual board members going out to its communities and providing that education. It's really unfortunate that we're doing it this way, but that's just the way that we're set up this year. But I'm very happy that whoever that can listen to us and listen to the presentations online, if they have the Zoom capabilities, if they have the broadband, then they'll be able to they'll be able to listen to us. Outside of that, if you don't have the broadband or a way of getting online, then hopefully we'll be able to reach you. So, in other ways, thanks so much. Really appreciate the staff working on this and being able to provide this opportunity for our communities. Thank you.
Yes, and thank you. And members of the public, as you know, we have been, and the county staff has been very busy getting information out to various organizations and stakeholders across the county and other stakeholders. And hopefully many of us have also reached out to members here in our community, in organizations here in our community. And we have held 4 public hearing sessions at various days of the week and at various times throughout the day. This Tuesday, March 29th, here this afternoon, is the last of our listening sessions. As you know, and you will hear, this is required, and these changes to our supervisory districts are required because every 10 years there is a census. And together with that census, we must look at our districts and determine whether the populations based on the new census, in fact, allow districts to be of substantially similar or equal population, allowing a plus or minus 5% deviation. We have developed as a county 5 scenarios which meet this population requirement and which meet our various goals with the Board of Supervisors has established as our goals for the redistricting maps. And I have read those in the past, and I'm just gritting it here and I will read them to you again. The Board of Supervisors has made the determination that we would like to determine our districting on maps of equal population plus or minus the 5% deviation, as I've indicated, that we draw maps that draw the boundaries that do not dilute the voting strength of racial or language minority groups, and 3, that we preserve communities of interest, and that 4, the districts must be compact and contiguous, and 5, that we maintain traditional geographic and political boundaries, and 6, that we do not create a substantial long-term negative effect on a specific political party. Number 7, that we base the new plan on our existing districts to the extent possible. And 7, when drawing district boundaries, we take into account the current incumbents residents. And we have, besides these listening sessions, we also have set forth on our website an ability for you to provide written comment. Although this is our last hearing session to hear from you, the members of the public, you will have up until April 12th. April 12th, what month is it? Up until April 12th to provide your written comment. And you will get the link here in just a minute, but you could also go on to Coconino County website, redistricting, and it'll also bring you to the redistricting information in the comment, but you'll be getting that here in just a minute. So we have adopted these guidelines. We're going to listen to your comments, and then we will be making a decision as to, in our board determination, what we believe is the best scenario, the best district boundaries that best suits the needs of Coconino County. So now at this point, as I said, we, the board, are listening. We are not going to be answering questions or responding to your comments at this time. It is our time, quite frankly, for a change, just to listen and to hear what you have to say. So I am turning this over to our experts, our staff, who have done an excellent job of going through the numbers, the census numbers, and all the other relevant numbers, and have worked with the board in these drafts. And we will be, again, hearing from you before we make our decision. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to our county manager, Steve Peru, for him to introduce our staff and to introduce the maps. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks very much, Chair Horstman, and welcome to our guests this afternoon, rather. And so very quickly, I want to just introduce the staff that's here. Claire Harper from the manager's office. We also have Sue Brown, deputy county manager. We have Corey Ringenberg from the manager's office, and then we have awesome staff from our GIS, IT GIS department. So Nate Wren, where's Margot, Helen, and these are the folks that are the brains behind the mapping piece. And so want to appreciate them. Also from the clerk's office, we have Val and others. And so did I miss someone? I probably did, and I apologize. But I'm going to show a few slides and make some introductory comments and create some context for those of you that are here today. All the information, though, is posted on our website. So agenda, very quickly, Chair Horstman provided a quick introduction. I'll provide a few slides related to the framework, the legal framework, chronology, and some of the background of the process. The mapping guidelines that are very, very important that have been adopted by the Board of Supervisors late in 2021. And then most important, of course, would be the review of the scenarios, and Deputy Manager Sue Brown and Nate Wren from GIS will be walking us through the different scenarios. And then, of course, we want to make sure that you're here to provide information, comments, opinions related to the scenarios that we presented today. And so that'll be going over, we'll go over that, of course, in greater detail. Protocol in terms of the best way to make public comment, and then we'll be adjourning. And so that's really just a basic agenda for what we're going to be doing. Next slide, the Board of Supervisors are responsible for creating the districts, the supervisory districts, pursuant to guidelines established by both state and federal law. In addition, the Community College District Board uses the exact same boundaries for their structure as well. And so when the Board of Supervisors adopts guidelines for the county, the community college will be also utilizing the same district boundaries. So population-wise, the 2020 census reflected a population in Coconino County of 145,101. And then with our 5 districts, doing the simple math of dividing that, we end up with a target population of 29,020. And then by law, we are provided the opportunity to have a deviation of plus or minus 5%. And so the 5% plus would mean a maximum district size of 30,471. And then on the minus side, a minimum range of 27,569. So that's the range that we're always looking at. A little bit on chronology, September of 21. Final data was released by the U.S. Census Bureau, and as most things in our world has been impacted by COVID, the census process was one of those. The census process was delayed by about 6 months because of COVID, and so the information that we received was that late to us. Again, in September of 21, the board did adjust precinct boundaries to streamline the administration of election for 2022. And this is provided in ARS, Arizona Revised Statute. And this had to be done by October. So that date did not move. So there were some changes that we did make, again, to ease the election administration that the statute provided to us. Then in October through December, we actually ended up pausing or setting aside our redistricting process pending the IRC redistricting decision. IRC, Independent Redistricting Commission, that is the state commission that was doing the same thing that we were doing, but at the state level related to legislative and congressional races. And so we paused, set our process to the side while the IRC was doing that. And then in 2022, January, when the IRC had wrapped up their process, we resumed ours and with review of the revisions that may have had to happen. And then from there, February 22, the board adjusted precinct boundaries to reflect the adopted IRC legislative and congressional district lines. This is an important bullet. Because when the Redistricting Commission for the state completed its work on the legislative and congressional, they laid those lines down on top of Coconino County, and in certain circumstances or instances, those lines split a precinct. And so then we had to make adjustments based on the congressional and legislative lines being overlaid to county lines. And again, that's where the precincts had to be split because of that action at the state level. March of 22, virtual public hearings began. We're holding the final one today to gain input on the mapping scenarios. And then on April 12th, the board will be adopting a mapping scenario that will be in place for the next 10 years. And this will be done by the board, but also utilized by the community college. Next slide. Again, a little background, redistricting, as I said, it takes place every 10 years. The census data is used by, and we already referenced that, legislative and congressional districts, and then counties use the same for the county level redistricting, of course, following constitutional Arizona state and constitutional federal mandates. And I've already mentioned the community college is also utilizing these districts. State law, Arizona Revised Statute 212, again, going to the state or the county's authority that the county shall meet at the county seat on or before December 1st, following the release of the decennial census. And this is where we have the delay. And so the delay forced us not to have our process wrapped up by December 1st. But in a normal year where we would not have had a delay in census, all of the work that we're talking about today and the processes and the input would have taken place by December 1st. Arizona state law was changed. The legislature did make a change in statute to allow counties to finish up their county redistricting work. I believe in June or July of this summer, and so that was all delayed, and then the rest is how the board would be meeting and dividing it into the 5 districts. Next. At the federal level, the principle of one person, one vote, equal protection clause demands no less than substantially equal state legislative representation for all citizens of all places as well as of all races. By holding that a federal constitutional requisite, both houses of a state legislature must be apportioned on a population basis, meaning that the equal protection clause requires that a state make an honest and good faith effort to construct districts in both houses of its legislature of nearly equal of population as practical. And this applies to what we're doing at the county level. And so that's why the emphasis and the requirement is that we work within that target district population with a plus or minus 5%. Next. Voting Rights Act, and so I want to reference Section 5. Section 5 was enacted to freeze changes in election practices in covered jurisdictions until the proposed changes were determined to have neither discriminatory purpose or effect. Arizona and Coconino County are covered jurisdictions. That means that all of the work that we will be doing through a normal redistricting process as we are doing today, we would be submitting these changes to the U.S. Department of Justice. They would then review all of the data, the changes. They would look at previous election returns, and then they would make a determination based on the review of that information. Did the requested changes through this redistricting process, did it have any impact on the voting rights of individuals? And that was in place up until the Shelby County litigation that took place. And that, in essence, as a result of that Supreme Court ruling, removed Section 5, the Department of Justice review, from the process. So that has been removed. And this particular redistricting cycle is the first cycle without that Section 5 clearance. And so that no longer exists. However, if you go to the next slide, Section 2 does currently is in force at this point in time. And Section 2, no voting qualification or prerequisite to voting or standard practice or procedure shall be imposed or applied by any state or political subdivision to deny or abridge the right of any citizen of the United States to vote on account of race or color. And Section 2 applies, it's currently in force. And so while Section 5 is no longer in force, we must, however, continue to comply with Section 2. Next. Guidelines. And so you'll notice on this slide that the agenda item has been stamped March 22 of 2011. These were the guidelines that were used in the 2011 redistricting cycle, which were pre-cleared at that time by the Department of Justice, meaning that the guidelines were in accordance with the Voting Rights Act. And so these guidelines were approved in 2011. We provided them in their entirety for board consideration in 2011. And they were, in fact, these guidelines were, in fact, adopted by the Board of Supervisors late in 2021. And again, reading the guidelines, drawing districts of equal population based on census data to ensure one person, one vote. The deviation from that standard by 5% is permitted, but less deviation is better. Number 2, do not dilute the voting strength of racial and language minority groups. Preserve the ability of majority-minority districts to elect representatives of their choice. When considering the ability of districts to elect minority representative, the voting age population should be considered rather than than just census. And in fact, we use both sets. Number 3, preserve communities of interest. And then number 4, districts must be compact and contiguous. We use census block boundaries as district boundaries, and we do not split voting precincts. And so again, going back to the building blocks of the redistricting. Number 5, maintain traditional geographic and political boundaries. And then 6, do not create a substantial long-term negative effect on a specific political party. Political parties should have a fair chance to influence the political process. 7, base the new plan on existing districts to the extent possible. And then finally, when drawing district boundaries, take into account current incumbents. And so those were the guidelines that were adopted in 2011, also adopted in 2021, and again, were pre-cleared by the U.S. Department of Justice back in 2011. Next slide. Our website, I would invite the public to please go out onto the website and visit it. There's a lot of good information on there. Let's see, I'm not sure we're able to pull it up right now. I kicked us back out again. So we'll go back to the slide that we had, Claire, and then we'll just, we can take a tour of that after. So you can go back to that. So again, the redistricting website is really important. Go to that if possible. Next slide. So when we do commence public comment in a few minutes, we would ask you to use the raise hand function on Zoom, and it is located down at the bottom. You can see a little icon that says raise hand. If you can press that to get our attention, then we will be calling individuals in the order that they appear based on when they have raised their hand. If you're on the phone, press *9, and that'll provide the opportunity for us to connect with you. When I call your name, if you could state your full name and address, and we would ask in the interest of time equity that you limit your comments to 3 minutes. And then, of course, members of the public may continue to submit input on draft maps until April 12th, as the chair indicated. And our website, email address rather, is redistricting@coconino.az.gov. The next slide. And again, today is our final input session, but again, continue to provide comments up until April 12th. And the next slide. You can also go back if this is the first time joining us. We've had, this is the 4th of 4. You can go back on YouTube and go to 2022 Supervisory Redistricting, and you'll be able to play back the sessions that we've held the 3 prior to this. And so we invite you to go to YouTube and see what comments or information has been presented in the past. Next slide. Before I turn it over, on our website, for the redistricting website, there is a section for public participation. And within that, you'll able to click to look at all of the public comments that we've received so far. And so we invite the public to go to the website, go to public participation, and you'll be able to scroll down to public input that's been received to date. Click on that, you'll be able to see all of the information, including letters, emails that we've received from the public related to our proposed scenarios. And I believe, Claire, those are the slides if you want to unshare. And at this point in time, we are going to proceed with a description of the scenarios. And I'm going to ask Sue Brown to come up, and she and Nate are going to walk us through the different mapping scenarios, the 5 scenarios that are under consideration by the Board of Supervisors. So Nate is on. Sue, you ready to go?
Ready to go. Thank you, Steve.
Over to you.
You bet. Good afternoon, everybody. What we have here is the tool that you will find at coconino.az.gov/redistricting. If you go to the Redistricting Scenarios tab at the top, you will see this, which is a set of 5 different scenarios, plus the current county supervisory districts, plus sources and information. And what we'll do in the next few minutes is go through each of these to orient you to them and show you how to use the tool, and also so you can see each one of the separate districts. So we're going to start here, which is the current county supervisory boundaries. These are the boundaries that were set in 2010, based on the 2010 set, or 2011, based on the 2010 census. And what Nate just did was he zeroed in into Flagstaff, where you will find that there are a greater number of small precincts. And so you will see as we move through the scenarios, we'll start there, and then we will move out to the larger districts in the outer areas of the county as well. You can also see that Nate has hovered over a district. And as you do that, I think if you give a click, it will show the information about each one of the current districts. Its population, its census population, you can see the difference there, the population difference, and the percentage difference. So, and then also the target of what we're looking for. So do that on each one of the districts to get your information. Then you have over on the left-hand side, you have the demographics. If you hit that little double arrow box, you can see a close-up of all of these demographics. On the left-hand side is a very important column. That is your population column for each one of the districts. This one is its current population. Underneath it shows the targets. So you can see clearly that District 1 is over in population, as is District 3. District 2 is right on target, but District 4 and District 5 are currently under population. That's why we're here. That's why we're here for redistricting, to even those out. The next column is the total population for all of the districts. And you see those lines that go up and down that show the line sets for that. And you'll see those change as we move forward to the other scenarios. Total voting population then, slightly different. First one is total population. Total voting population is the third column, excuse me. And then the fourth column for each district, you will see the registered voters by party affiliation. And we'll reference you back to those guidelines that mention those affiliations and the populations. Thanks, Nate. Okay, we're going to start with scenario C. Go ahead and click on that tab for scenario C. And we'll start at the inset of there's what it looks like, the whole county. Then Nate clicks on that inset and you go deep into the heart of Flagstaff where those precincts are smaller. That's why we start there and then we move out. Okay, what we're going to do is go over the changes. We'll go over the changes to each district in terms of the precincts. So we'll start with scenario C. And the first precinct, Nate, that we'll deal with is 8. Precinct 8, that was originally with District 1 under scenario C. It is now with District 2. Then we're at 17 in Flagstaff. Precinct 17 in Flagstaff was Precinct 2. It is now Precinct 4 under scenario C. Then 18, Precinct 18 in Flagstaff was District 2. It is now District 4. Then we go to 23 in Flagstaff. Precinct 23 in Flagstaff moves from District 3 to District 2. Thanks, Nate. Then we moved to Blue Ridge. Precinct 41 in Blue Ridge. And Blue Ridge is, of course, a bit to the southeast. And the model redoes it. Nate knows where they are, so he can tell you. 41 precinct in Blue Ridge goes from District 4 to District 2. Nate, then we go up to Cameron. Precinct 43 in Cameron. There it is. Precinct 43 in Cameron, more toward the center east. District 4 originally goes to District 5 under scenario C. Then we're at Fernwood, Nate. Precinct 52 in Fernwood moves from District 2 to District 5 under scenario C. Then we're at Forest Lakes down to the south again, the south and east. Precinct 53 in Forest Lakes will move from District 4 to District 2. Thanks, Nate. Then we go north to the Grand Canyon. Under scenario C, Precinct 59 in the Grand Canyon moves from District 1 to District 5. And then we go to Inscription House, Nate. To the northeast, we go Precinct 61, Inscription House, originally District 5. Under scenario C goes to District 4. Then we go to Precinct 63 in Mormon Lake, down to the south. That Precinct 63 for Mormon Lake goes from District 4 to District 2. Then we're at Navajo Mountain, Nate. Precinct 71 at Navajo Mountain goes from District 5 to District 4. And then we go next to Ranches, Nate. We're at precinct 81, Ranches North, goes from District 1. Oh, I'll hold on a little minute, little delay there. Goes from District 1 to District 3. Precinct 81, Ranches North, goes from District 1 to District 3. And then finally, the final change from the current districts to District C, for Scenario C, is Precinct 84, Ranches South, move from District 1 to District 3. Great. Now, after we look at those on the map, we're going to go over to the demographics. And the first thing that we'll check is, do all the districts meet the target populations? So the target population is on each district. You can see it underneath. They're all equal. And you see a quick look shows us that they all do meet the target populations. Then we go next to the total population per district. And remember, we talked about those vertical lines. Those are the originals in the current districts and where they actually move with the new total population after the moves of those precincts. So you see the non-Hispanic white population is decreased, and so on. And then we look at the total voting population, which can be slightly different than the total population. And then the registered voters by party affiliation for all the districts under Scenario C. Thanks, Nate. And a really handy tool here, Nate, will go down, there you go. We'll show the guidelines that we've been mentioning in both in the chair's remarks and the county manager's remarks. They're right here. So you have a quick look at those guidelines under each scenario proposed as well. All right. Scenario D1. And we'll start again at the inset of Flagstaff. And we'll start at 8, Nate. So the first change for scenario D1 from the current is in precinct 8. It goes from District 1 to District 2. The next one is precinct 18 in Flagstaff. It goes from District 2 to District 4. Precinct 19 in Flagstaff moves from District 2 to District 4 under scenario D1. Then precinct 20 in Flagstaff moves from District 3 to District 2. Then we go to Cameron, Nate. Precinct 43 in Cameron moves from District 4 to District 5. Then we're in Fernwood, Nate. Precinct 52 in Fernwood to the northeast of Flagstaff moves from District 2 to District 5 under scenario D1. Thanks, Nate. Then we go to Inscription House in the northeast corner. Precinct 61, Inscription House, moves from District 5 to District 4 under scenario D1. Then we go to Mormon Lake, Nate, to the south central. Precinct 63 in Mormon Lake moves from District 4 to District 3. Then we go back up to Navajo Mountain. Precinct 71 at Navajo Mountain in the northeast corner moves from District 5 to District 4 under scenario D1. Next one is Ranches, Nate. Precinct 81, Ranches North, moves from District 1 to District 3 under D1. And finally, the last change is Precinct 84, Ranches South, moves from District 1 to District 3. And it's coming up here quick. Here we go. There's 81. So, and then I'm a little fast on my reads. And 84, Nate, Ranches South, moves from District 1 to District 3. You got 84, that's still showing 81. You've just got a little delay, that will happen.
84 encompasses all of this done.
Okay.
That's it just puts.
Oh, you can't see the number. Thanks. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. So 84 Ranches South moves from District 1 to District 3. That is the last change from the current for scenario D1. Then we'll go to the demographics. And again, we'll check our population, make sure it's within target, which it is for each one of the districts. We'll look at it. Then we look at the deviations on the total population from previous, and you see those lines showing where they were originally and where they are under scenario D1. And the same is true for the total voting population under D1, the changes from the original. And the registered voters by party affiliation also. Great. Thanks, Nate. And again, you've got the guidelines there. And now we'll move to scenario D2. For scenario D2, we'll start again at the Flagstaff inset, where we begin with, again, precinct 8 in Flagstaff. Precinct 8 in Flagstaff under scenario D2 moves from District 1 to District 2. Precinct 18 Flagstaff moves from District 2 to District 4. Precinct 19 in Flagstaff moves from District 2 to District 4. Precinct 20 in Flagstaff moves from District 3 to District 2. Then we're in Cameron, Nate. We're looking for precinct 43 in Cameron. That one will move from District 4 to District 5. Then we're in Fernwood, Nate. At precinct 52, Fernwood will move from District 2 to District 5. And then we move north to the Grand Canyon. Precinct 59, Grand Canyon, will move from District 1 to District 5 under scenario D2. Then we're at Inscription House. In the northeast corner, precinct 61, Inscription House, will move from District 5 to District 4. Then we're down to the south, central portion, Mormon Lake. Precinct 63 at Mormon Lake will move from District 4 to District 3. We're back up north to the northeast corner for precinct 71, Navajo Mountain. It will move from District 5 to District 4 under scenario D2. And then we're back at Ranches, Nate. Precinct 81, Ranches North, will move from District 1 to District 3. That's precinct 81. Here we are again. Precinct 81, Ranches North, will move from District 1 to District 3. And then you saw precinct 84, Ranches South, will move from District 1 to District 3. And that is the last change of precincts for scenario D2. We again double check our demographics and look at that left-hand column to see that they are within the target ranges, our first test. And then we look at the total population changes under scenario D2. And then the total voting population changes under scenario D2. And finally, the registered voters by party affiliation under scenario D2. Great. Thanks, Nate. Our fourth scenario, our fourth scenario tonight is scenario E today. This is scenario E. And we'll again start with the inset in Flagstaff, the smaller precincts, smaller geographic precincts. And we'll start with with precinct 10 in Flagstaff. Precinct 10 in Flagstaff will move from District 1 to District 2 under scenario E. Then precinct 16 in Flagstaff will move from District 2 to District 1 in Flagstaff under scenario E. Then we have precinct 18, and that one will move from District 2 to District 4 under scenario E. Precinct 23 in Flagstaff will move from District 3 to District 2. Then the precinct 29 in Flagstaff will move from District 1 to District 3. Then we're at Blue Ridge, Nate. Precinct 41 in Blue Ridge will move from District 4 to District 2 under scenario E. And then 43, Cameron, Nate. Precinct 43 in Cameron will move from District 4 to District 5. Then we're at Fernwood. Precinct 52 in Fernwood will move from District 2 to District 4. Then we're at Forest Lakes to the south. Precinct 53, Forest Lakes, will move from District 4 to District 2 under Scenario E. We're back up to Grand Canyon after that. Precinct 59 in the Grand Canyon will move from District 1 to District 5 under Scenario E. Then we are back south to Mormon Lake. Precinct 63, Mormon Lake, will move from District 4 to District 2. And we're at Ranches again, Nate. Precinct 81, Ranches North, will move from District 1 to District 3. Again, from 1 to 3 under Scenario E. And then Ranches South will move from District 1 to District 3 under Scenario E. Thanks, Nate. And then we go back to our demographics. First, check our population, make sure everybody lies within the population with the 5% deviation. Total population, deviations from the previous total population. Total voting population. And then registered voters by party affiliation, the changes there under Scenario E. Thanks, Nate. Okay, finally, Scenario F. We'll start inset and Flagstaff again with Precinct 8. And that's Precinct 8 in Flagstaff. We'll move from District 1 to District 2. Then Precinct 10 in Flagstaff will move from District 1 to District 2. Then Precinct 18 in Flagstaff will move from District 2 to District 4. Then Precinct 23 will move from District 3 to District 4. Then we're at Precinct 41, Blue Ridge, will move from District 4 to District 3. Then Cameron, Precinct 43, will move from District 4 to District 5. That's 43 Cameron, District 4 to District 5 under Scenario F. Then we're at Fernwood, Nate. Precinct 52 in Fernwood will move from District 2 to District 5 under Scenario F. And Precinct 53 at Forest Lakes down to the south will move from District 4 to District 3. That's 53 at Forest Lakes will move from District 4 to District 3. Then we're back up north to the east at Inscription House. Precinct 61 Inscription House will move from District 5 to District 4. Then we're back down to Mormon Lakes. Precinct 63 at Mormon Lake will move from District 4 to District 3. Back north to the northeast corner, Precinct 71 Navajo Mountain will move from District 5 to District 4. And the last change for Scenario F is Ranches South. Precinct 84, Ranches South, will move from District 1 to District 3. That's 84. Ranches South, there we go. And with that, we'll move over to the demographics again. Check our population, which all of them do meet target. The changes to Scenario F will bring on the total populations. And then the total voting population changes under Scenario F. And finally, the registered voters by party affiliation under Scenario F. Great, thank you, Nate. And then reminding everybody that under those demographics underneath there, on any of the scenarios, you will find the guidelines. And Nate, can you get to the supplemental information on the main website or show everybody those options? He's just kind of going to show us how you get there. So this is what you'll see on the redistricting website off of the main website. And then at the top, you see there, you can click any of those. You can see the tool that we just did under redistricting scenarios. So it'll look just like you just saw. And then the supplemental scenario info is all of this. So what we just read from is the precinct list for each scenario above in PDF format. That is what we just read from to tell you the precinct changes under each scenario. And there's some other really great information there, and you can print these out should you wish to. There is an FAQ at the bottom. And there, if you want to see the public comments to date that have been received by from other citizens, you can click there to read those. And there's an FAQ there. Thanks, Nate. With that, Mr. County Manager, I think we're done going over all the scenarios.
Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Nate.
Thank you.
And thanks for the tour of the website. And so that's a good source of information for many that want to just do a little bit more research on the process, and of course the scenarios as well. So we're going to go right to public comment. Again, if you can use the raised hand function below, that'll get our attention. And so again, we'll go ahead and open the public portion of this session. And I see 2 hands up. I'm going to go to Martina. Martina, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and make sure that you're able to hear us and we can hear you. Give us your name and address and please provide your comment.
Hi, thank you so much. My name is Martina Gast. I'm not in the district. I'm actually an attorney who works for the Havasupai tribe. We have members of the Havasupai Tribal Council who've been so patiently waiting to provide public comment. So Councilmember Stuart Chavez is also on, and he will be the one providing the comments. And I'm not sure if he's the other hand that's up, but he has the cell phone number 928-691-6944. So if you could unmute him, he'll be the one that will be now providing the comments for the Havasupai Tribal Council.
And I do see Mr. Chavez. And so Mr. Chavez, you can unmute yourself and please share your thoughts.
All right, am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
All right, great. My name is Stuart Chavez Gamiche. I come from the Havasupai Tribal Council, tribe, and I am a part of the Tribal Council. For the Havasupai tribe, we are requesting that Coconino County Board of Supervisors to reject the redistricting maps of C, D2, and E. The tribe supports map F or map D1. The county should not separate Supai Village from Supai Camp, the South Rim, and Flagstaff. All of these communities should be kept in District 1. Our tribe has been connected to the Grand Canyon South Rim since time immemorial. Our relationship to the South Rim is separate and distinct from the North Rim. We have a strong relationship with the Grand Canyon Grand Canyon Park South Rim, including working together to maintain access to our traditional cultural property and the development and expansion of Supai Camp. Supai Village is very remote and we struggle with housing shortage and lack of reliable and adequate health and educational services. The Grand Canyon National Park South Rim worked with us to establish Supai Camp to alleviate some of these struggles. We have worked to ensure that Supai Village and Supai Camp remain as closely aligned as possible. At no point did we ever believe that the tribe's 2 communities would be separated into different districts. We also have several close ties to the Flagstaff community. We have no high school in the reservation, and many of our tribal families send children to live in the Flagstaff Kinlani dorm so the children can attend high school in Flagstaff. Our tribal members frequently travel to Flagstaff for shopping, working, and medical services. We also have an office space in Flagstaff. Finally, we have developed close relationships in District 1 over the years and we have heavily relied on these relationships, especially in times of need. Most recently in February 2022, 2 years after the original outbreak of COVID-19 within the US, the tribe experienced its first community outbreak of COVID-19, and after one phone call, District 1 responded immediately, providing the tribe with access to donation and much needed medical supplies and PPE for our tribal members in Supai village, and Supai count. We are so thankful the District 1 and simply cannot imagine having to coordinate with 2 separate districts, including a district we have no history with or established relationships, to ensure that our tribal members have equal and immediate access to assistance in times of needs. For those reasons, we ask that you approve map F or D1 and reject map C, D2, E, or any other map or maps that are that separate Supai Village and Supai Camp from the South Rim and Flagstaff. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts today. Appreciate that. And your information is on the record. And so we appreciate your comments. Thank you. Let's see. Other hands. I don't see any other hands raised. And so while we're waiting, again, let me see. I do see some hands. Okay, I'm going to call on Ann Heitland. Ann, you're first. You can go ahead and unmute yourself, Ann. I don't see you unmuted yet.
Okay.
You're good. Go ahead.
Thank you for your work. Largely unreported and unseen, the work of the 5 of you do is vital to the well-being of the people of our county. I suspect that redistricting is one of your more unpleasant tasks, but we will all be thankful that it happens only every 10 years, and we can hope that it will not detract from all the good work you do year in and year out. As chair of the Coconino County Democratic Party, I have had the opportunity to contrast the quality of your work with that of other rural counties in Arizona. Your response to the pandemic was superior to other counties, some of which reacted with frankly terrifying disregard for science and the welfare of their people. Regarding other issues as well, this Board of Supervisors evaluates evidence and acts with the good of our citizens in mind. I urge you to reflect on the value of this contrast with other counties as you work through the redistricting process, and to do your best to assure that the supervisors elected for our county over the next 10 years will continue to serve our citizens as well and as honestly as you have. That is the goal toward which my comments about specific maps will be directed. You established 9 criteria for evaluating new maps. Some of these speak directly to what I've just said, specifically that new districts be based on old districts, that the districts maintain traditional boundaries, that they account for incumbents, and that they do not create a substantial negative effect on any specific political party. Let me say simply that I think the scenarios that are most likely to achieve the goal of electing supervisors who will best serve our citizens are scenarios D1 and F. None of the proposed maps is perfect. I must reject scenarios C, D2, and E because they break up the historic and substantial community of interest that is the Grand Canyon and Flagstaff. I reject E for that reason, and also for the additional reason that it removes representation from Northeast rural suburbs. The nature of redistrict is compromise, not perfection. Finally, I'd like to comment on the process. Last Thursday, Leonard Gorman from the Navajo Human Rights Commission asked for a private meeting with county staff. I suggest that all public input for this redistricting process come in open public meetings. If Mr. Gorman gets a private meeting, I want one too. As to his map submissions, his proposal for divisions within the city of Flagstaff were clearly made by someone who is just drawing lines on a piece of paper without any real knowledge of Coconino County, its politics, or the city of Flagstaff. Thank you, and I hope you'll consider the written comments that I'll be submitting soon.
Thank you, Ann, for sharing your thoughts. And this is my 4th redistricting cycle at Coconino County. So even though we do it once every 10 years, it's a good process. So I appreciate that. Next, we're going to go to Maury Herman. Maury, if you can unmute yourself, you have the floor, sir.
Hi, thank you. I had a side comment and then I wanted to do my main comment.
Go ahead.
And the side comment was, I think all of us are aware that the census process was really flawed. And that if I say the former guy, kind of had it in for that process, and it ended a week early and other things. So I sort of view this process now as taking a very flawed set of numbers and trying to do the best you can. I don't know that there's a good solution. I don't know that there's a challenge at this point, but I'm looking at this as just made much more difficult by that original flawed process. So I have submitted an email asking you to support option F. And I have 3 quick points on that. One is, I think it's a good carry forward from tradition, and the tradition has in the county, and I can, you know, I've more experience in the city than the county, but my feeling when I deal with the county is there's some stability and pretty consistent information, and I appreciate that. And I'd like to see that stability continue. I'm a resident of the area off 180 north of Schultz Pass. And I felt that even though the highway is a state highway, that we have really benefited from attention from our supervisors on keeping that congestion down and keeping that highway from Flagstaff to Tucson open. And so having that single representative to be able to talk to is really nice. And finally, I'm a business owner downtown, and it's real important for us to have that area around the courthouse with one person we can talk to. It's a historic area. It's an area of great business activity and potential. And having it split up and so there's no one who's really focused on it would be a real loss. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Appreciate your thoughts, Maury. Other individuals like to share thoughts, comments? I'm looking at both the raised hands. I don't see anything while we're waiting. Again, would encourage folks to go to our website. You can also send in a comment. So if you think of something after the session closes today, please share your thoughts. It's redistricting@coconino.az.gov. And again, observations, thoughts, they're all important to us and to the board as they continue their input process. Again, the board will be coming together in session on April 12th, and that is an evening meeting. So we put it that way so that members of the public are able to for those that can, participate, or excuse me, to join in on the conversation. Let me write, to participate and to observe the board's deliberation. It's not a public input process that evening, but is the opportunity for the public, as it is for all of our public meetings as open meetings, to be able to witness the conversation, the deliberation. Okay. I don't see any other hands raised. I'm going to give it another moment. Again, this is not your only opportunity. I kind of feel like I'm on a PBS telethon. This is not your only moment. This is your only. There are other opportunities. And so please let us know what your thoughts are. Our email, redistricting@coconino.az.gov, giving more opportunity to provide your thoughts.
Yeah, Steve, you can join Alice and Mitch next time. Hey, just
radio future here.
No, actually, they were on the last fundraiser there for PBS. Hey, we have you, and you're probably reaching them, but I was looking in the chat pieces where people were asking to get in, no discussion amongst us.
Okay. I'm going to ask staff to help me monitor the chat. So
they were looking they had some people on phone that may have wanted to comment, and that's why I'm asking you.
Okay.
We
Thanks.
do have Evelyn.
Evelyn, your hand is raised. Go ahead and mute yourself and share your thoughts.
Actually, this is Evelyn's husband, Chris.
Hey, Chris, how are you today? Could you give us your name and address just for the record, Chris?
Yeah, Chris Wani, and I'm at 11770 Roper Avian Road in Flagstaff.
Hey, Chris, go ahead.
And I just want to commend all of you for your hard work. I know it's kind of a thankless job oftentimes, and you're open to criticism and all kinds of people coming back and saying, well, you know, I didn't get what I wanted or whatever, those kinds of situations. And I really feel it's important that you do receive the strokes as well. And I'm passing those along now. Thank you very much for your service.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and again, but you know, the technology has gone a long way. From the first time I did redistricting map, we would receive the huge paper maps and a big notebook of all the census block information. We manually had to go through and tag every block and then try to create maps to what we're seeing today. And so technology has gone a long way. And so with that, Madam Chair, I just want to make sure I don't see anything else on.
And just make sure we have everybody on, anybody on the phone that needs to be heard, that we make sure we've given them an opportunity to speak as well.
So I'm glad to area phone number ending in 9321. Any comments? You can unmute yourself.
It is *9. So if they do have a comment
9.
to make, please enter *9 and it will
Okay,
notify
*9
us
on
and
your
allow you
mobile
to
phone
speak.
will unmute you. So 9321. And then to 5100. And then finally 2323. Okay, Madam Chair. Well, let's see. Hang on a minute.
It does look like there is the 9321 is up, and if they can do *9 and unmute, that would be great.
Okay. Phone
Claire,
number
there we go.
9321. Can you unmute yourself? Claire, can you unmute?
They are unmuted. They would just
Okay.
need to speak.
Looks like you are unmuted, so feel free to address the hearing.
Okay. Okay, so not hearing anything on our end. And 9321. Okay, Madam Chair, I think we're 5100, nothing coming up. And I don't see any hands raised or any items in the chat. So Madam Chair, I'm going to turn the floor back to you.
Well, all right. Thank you so much for everyone who joined us here today. We so appreciate all of your input, and this is our last listening session. However, it is not your last opportunity to address the Board of Supervisors before our decision is made on April 12th. As you've heard the county manager and our staff say, we are still taking written comments. We encourage you to make your written comments, to ask your neighbors and your friends to also make your written comments to us up until April 12th. This is an important process. We want to hear from you. So thank you so much.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
we saw a hand raised 9321 did come back up, right, Sue?
That's correct. And also a gentleman named Phil.
Let's go ahead then. I will not close out yet. So we look forward to hearing from them.
They have pulled their hand down, but if they do wish to speak, if you would put your hand up once again. And 9321, would you like to speak? And we also have, Claire, do you understand that icon on 5100?
They did briefly have their hand up as well.
Okay.
So the 928-326 number is now available to speak if they wish to do so.
Okay. Caller 5100.
Yeah, this is 326-5100.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, this is Kenny Welch. I'm sorry that I kind of came on late, and I'm the Loop Chapter grazing official in this area. So I know I got an email earlier, but I was busy, so I just want to identify myself, who I am, and I'm online, and thanks for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being with us today, sir. Appreciate it. Did you have any other comments that you wanted to share with us today? Okay. Any other comments, sir?
Pretty much. I just, I know I wanted to talk to county supervisor, you know, but maybe later in the day, maybe I can talk with her. And I have some issue with like roads and like with my livestock going to roads. And I'd like to address that about the who are the contact person on these to maintain some of these right of ways.
Okay.
And then at the same time, I had some issue that where people come in and just throw trash out on the road and how that can be addressed. So those are some things that I kind of had in mind. So maybe that this is not what the meeting's purpose
That's okay.
for, but you know,
we have your phone
and,
number here, and we'll have someone call you back to make contact and connect you to the supervisor. Okay.
Okay, cool. That would be
thanks.
that would be great.
You bet.
Well,
Thanks
thank you.
You bet. Our pleasure. Thank you. And Phil, your hand is up. So go ahead, Phil. Phil, if you can unmute yourself. And give her unmute one more. There you go.
There we go.
It's all yours. Go ahead, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. This is Phil Zani, committee member of Coal Mine Canyon area. And the comment I wanted to make regarding all this effort of redrawing the lines is the history. Historically, the Native community, Hopis, Navajo, and in this area have always been misrepresented. So continue to, I think this part of the proposal is kind of going back in history. And just as we're about to kind of make some leadway into that, trying to make things different, make things more conducive to being good neighbors. So I just want to make comments regarding just the lack of development that has gone on and just the lack of attention by the county. So just an example is there's a lot of kind of dirt roads in the region and on the Navajo reservation side and Hopi side. And I'm going to refer to the N6720, which connects Coal Mine community down to Talani Lake area. I think we have a number of chapter resolutions from Coal Mine requesting to better that road. And Commissioner Parks, I've been talking with him when he was there.
Okay.
Well, it's that kind of example where we keep asking to improve that road. And that's a shortcut from northern Kayenta area down to Winslow Holbrook. And if that's not improved, then people have to go spend an extra hour on the road just to get those points, destination points. So I don't want to, what has been improved, I don't want to see it going backwards.
Okay.
So this is part of the negative side of what is going on. Okay. And history speaks for itself.
Thank
so
you.
I just want to make those comments, and hopefully things work better. Things improve as supposed to. So thanks a lot for your comments, and thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you, Mrs. Zahn. I appreciate it. Thanks for being with us today. And then, Madam Chair, I will turn it back to you for closing comments.
All right, I hope we've gotten everyone on the phone and also here joining us on our Zoom link. So thank you all again for being here with us this afternoon. We so appreciate your comments. There's still time. And please go on and make your written comments on the website. We want to thank people who have basically joined us today far and wide here in the city of Flagstaff, as well as from our neighbors in Supai. So thank you all for being here. And at this point, County Manager, we are going to close our listening session for redistricting. And members of the public, we do have other items on our special session today. And are we staying on this Zoom for that? Is that correct, County Manager?
Lindsay, I'm going to defer to you. Are we staying on?
That is correct, Chair
Okay.
Horseman. We're staying on. It's the same Zoom link, so
Thank
you
you.
can move right into the next items.
So we're transitioning. So we're changing topics, Madam Chair. Back to you.
Yes, and so we're changing topics, but you are all welcome. This is an open public meeting. We are your Board of Supervisors here at work for you, for the county. And so you are welcome to stay on and listen to the remainder of our open session. I know we do have some items in executive session, and those are items that will not be discussed in open session. We do that in closed session. But members of the public, again, thank you for being with us this afternoon. Thank you for your input and for your thoughts. We so appreciate you. With that, Mr. Chair, we are on number 2, and that is presentation of possible action following legal advice regarding the Wallapai Indian Reservation water rights. This has been set forth as a possible executive session under ARS 38431.03A3 and 4. At this time, Mr. County Manager, has there been a recommendation that we enter into executive session?
Yes, Madam Chair, staff recommends retiring into exec session for this item.
With that recommendation, members of the board, do I hear a motion for us to adjourn into executive session?
So moved.
Supervisor Ryan has moved to go into executive session for this issue. Do I have a second?
Second.
Vice Chair Vasquez has seconded it. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Hearing no nays, at this time, we will go into executive session, and I'm assuming that is a different link that has been sent out to us. Is that correct?
That is true. It is a Zoom link that should be on your calendar next to this particular appointment, right, Lindsay?
That is correct. It's a Teams link. I do have a question, County Manager Peru, is if item 3 is also for an exec session. So are we ending the public portion now, or should we keep the stream up if the board needs to come back out?
I would keep the stream up just in case. I'm not sure, depending on the discussions in exec session, we may need to come out depending on any direction from there. But again, I'd rather keep it open just in case we need it.
And Mr. County Manager, it's my fault. I would also ask to entertain a motion to go into executive session on item 3, so that we can go into executive session on items both 2 and 3 as set forth on the agenda without having to come back out to go into executive session. So I would ask a motion at this time to go into executive session for item number 3, discussion of purchase, sale, or lease of real property pursuant to ARS 38431.03A7. Do I have a motion for executive session on that item?
Motion.
And Vice Chair Vasquez, do I have a second by Supervisor Ryan? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Hearing no nays, we are going to go into executive session on items 2 and 3. Members of the public, we will go into executive session for these. We have kept this link open just in case there is possible action on either item 2 or 3. Again, thank you for joining us this afternoon, and members of the board, remember, close out, leave this meeting, and then go into our team's meeting for executive session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I had some problems getting on, but it looks like most people are back on. Supervisor Begay, Supervisor Ryan, and Supervisor Fowler. We are just waiting for Vice Chair.
Vice Chair is out in the outside meeting. If you can move him over, Lindsay.
He just needs to accept the promotion.
Thank you.
I'm in.
There we go. Thank you. Thanks, Vice Chair Vasquez, and members of the public. Thank you for those that stayed with us. As you know, we had 2 items on our agenda, item 2 and 3, both that were set for executive session. In that, we did follow open meeting law and had discussion and legal advice where appropriate. And at this point, no further action is needed at this time from the board, except for adjournment. So do I have a motion to adjourn? I know you just want to adjourn, don't you? All right, Vice Chair Vasquez, and we have a second from Supervisor Ryan, who I know is ready to adjourn. So
I was going to let you adjourn as your prerogative as chair, but
I know,
yeah, I'll second it.
But we're going to go ahead and do that. So
Run us all back. You know.
we have a motion and second. Anybody objecting to that? Hearing no objection, I'm assuming we're all in favor. Is that correct? I think it is. It's been a great day. Thank you, members of the public who joined us and gave us your comments. And thank you, members of the staff. As always, you do a great job for us and you help us do our job well. So thank you again very much. So all have a good evening.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Yes.